Let me ask you about something near and dear to my heart: law enforcement. Public safety in general is always generically used. Where do you see yourself when it comes to law enforcement, and both in the DA's office and in the sheriff's department? You know that the county takes care of the DA's support staff, and of course they're responsible for the employees of the sheriff's department. Where do you see your support when it comes to those guys?
I would like to do being law enforcement is a whole nother level. You are, you know, loved at the worst of times and hated at the best of times. Like if that makes any kind of sense. I would like to be there to support our law enforcement mentally, physically, financially. Like I want to make sure that you guys are able to. I think that you know officers or law enforcement do their best work when they don't have to worry about their house. They don't have to worry about themselves. They don't have to, like when they're healthy, when they're strong, when they're
Yep.
mentally, all their families taken care of. All those things are put away. That makes them that more focused on community and enforcing the law and making sure it's better. So I would say that my outlook is to fully support firefighters too. That whole first responding corps
Yep.
of people. Make sure that they are fully supported, so that they can give us 100% of protecting our community.
Yeah, yeah, and I know
So
recently the county has offered to help in that particular way, and I'm glad to see that you would even make sure that it would be stronger, because as you say, and I know, just from experience, the toll that it takes on the families and whatever. And you're exactly right. If we know, and let's face it, if you want to get good candidates and you want to get good people on there, you got to be willing to pay them a decent
yeah,
wage. I know, especially when it comes to the correctional facility, our guys are leaving like crazy, and the expenditures for the jail and what needs to happen hasn't been tackled, and it seems to be put under the rug. And you'd be a guy that'd be willing to take a look at that and go, you know what, we got to do something different, because the sheriff's department is heavily one of its main issues is the jails. You'd be a person that, it sounds to me, you'd be willing to take a look at that and go, you know what, yeah, let's help those guys and let's see what we can do. Would that be fair to say?
absolutely. I mean, think about when you're doing the best of your job. It's when you don't have to worry about like all the things at home, all
Right.
the things of whether it's being taken care of. I mean, and you don't have to worry about financially too, right?
Right.
Like that all comes into play. Like people go into law enforcement for all the right reasons.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the last thing we want law enforcement to be is like to the point where they get bittered by the system. You
Yeah.
want them,
Yeah.
if that,
Yeah.
I
That
don't
makes
know
sense.
how better to
Yeah.
put that.
Yeah.
Like
No,
you
that's
want
no.
them to know that they're being supported 100%. That they're not going to be left behind. That they're not going to be stuck because they're pulling shift after shift after shift because there's so many shortages, and they're
Right.
doing overtime because they need
Right.
the money and
Right.
blow it. It's a vicious circle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said, the guards even like they work over. That's part of their pay, is that they literally will work overtime because they don't have enough people.
Right.
But
It's
like who's
mandatory
taking
for a
care?
lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah, who's taking care of their kids? Who's taking care of their family?
Right.
Someone's
Right.
got to be there.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
statistically too, I mean, let's talk about some of these guards. I mean, a lot of them don't have the greatest relationship at home with their spouse or whatever it
Right.
is, just because
Right.
they're
Because of the
gone all the time.
stress. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and so you're absolutely right when you say that. Like, I would definitely look into that and make it to the point where, and I think that's where a lot of mistakes get made when you're overtired. You're not thinking, and
Sure.
things become very mundane. In like after a while, you're just like you're just trying to survive that shift. You're not
Right.
like actually you know, doing 100% paying attention to every little thing.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
And again, I think with the county board, when it comes right down to it, I mean, the county exec, dictates where the monies go and whatever else. I think the county board could take a look at it, and if the exec isn't, you know, disseminating enough monies, somebody like yourself would take a look at it and say, hey, why don't we take a look at, how much is being spent on that? Why can't we up that a little bit or whatever? So, that's cool. That's cool to hear